Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be reviewing the Thermaltake Versa C23 TG with RGB, which is pretty damn amazing, and a full side panel of 4mm thick toughened glass in an £80 product. Let's get started.
The closer you got to me, the faster I try to leave. Like a mirage, like a mirage. The scars that you don't keep on my arms, I appear empty. Like a mirage, like a mirage.
Okay, and here it is, the Versa C23 with RGB and toughened glass to boot. So let's look around the outside of the case first. A full panel of 4mm thick RGB glass. I have already opened this box. I did do this already and the camera wasn't recording. So that's why you've got this little bit here, which is a bit of a mess because I'd already started to peel it off. Anyways, let's get back to it. We have RGB bars, I call them bars, that's why I call them, along the top and along the front left-hand side. Looks very nice. I don't think they're individually lit, I think it's all one colour. I think this and this will go one colour, same as the standard ring fans that you get from Thermaltake. And let's have a look at the front panel. And the I/O on the front, we have a power button, a reset button, a hardware RGB controller button. I think that does these and the fans if you've got fans connected, the ring fans. The microphone button, headphone button, 2 USB 2 and 2 USB 3. Let's have a look on the other side. On this side is pretty plain, apart from these two here. These are vents for the intake and the outlet, or depending on how you've organised the airflow in your case. They've got this big metal mesh type material here, which is quite nice. There's quite a big gap, it's bigger than some cases. On the back we have the standard fan outlet, PCIe, I/O panel and power supply slot, and a nice big generous opening on the back. Unfortunately on this case they didn't put in vertical mount, which is a bit of a disappointment actually for a case with tempered glass on it. It's a shame, I was looking forward to that, but not to be on this case. So inside, let me just open this, which is held in by 4 thumb screws. Bear with me. Okay, so I've done this before, and one thing to note with this case is it doesn't hook in at the bottom. It's literally held in by some rubber grommets on the other side, which these screws then screw into, these thumb screws, can't speak, and that is all that holds it in. It works well, but when you take it off and put it on, it can be a bit of an issue. I would have liked to have seen it hook in at the bottom so that you could at least do that, and then plonk it in, screw it up, job's good, and not to do. Never mind. We'll take it off, carefully place that in your box for safekeeping. So inside the case, on this case, we have the user manual, which we don't want. Get rid of that. The usual front I/O connectors. I'm just going to bring the light a little bit closer, bear with me. So on the inside we have 3, feels like plastic 2.5 inch drive bays for SSDs or whatever else you want to put in there, I guess. We have plenty of holes for your power supply cables and SAT cables and anything else you want to bung through the back to hide, to make your view nice and clean. We have a single outlet fan on the back. It's just a standard Thermaltake fan, so you might want to replace that, I guess. I don't know how good they are. And also inside we have on the bottom for your power supply, oops, we have, if I can get it off without breaking anything, one of those. That's pretty standard on pretty much all cases these days. That is assuming that you're going to have your power supply with the fan facing downwards. I know a lot of people have their fan facing up to help with airflow, to get the hot air out of the case, which is quite important. Just another exhaust fan, isn't it? Since most cases only support one fan on the back for chucking all the hot air out of your case, unless you're using the top ones, in which case they will come out the top, and on this case they'll come out the other side, as there are no vents on this side, on the left hand side of the case. Only on the right hand side are the inlet for the front, if you have a rad on the front or just fans on the front. So for water cooling we have space for 120 and 240, 2 fans on the front, so that's a 2 fan 120 or a 2 fan 240 radiator to go on the front and at the top if you want to. So you could have 2 loops, or you can have 2 radiators for 1 loop, depending on whatever you're going to do inside this case. Make it your own, that's the whole beauty of it. For the SSDs, I like the access for the connections actually. I currently have the View 2028, which came with a ring fan. It had a similar design where you put your SSDs on this side, but the hole for the SATA and power connections was far too tight. I didn't like it, so they actually mounted upside down. So hopefully in this one, whatever we decide to do with this case, we can mount them the right way up, so the wording is the right way around, so it looks nice, and the cables can go in from this side or whichever side that it happens to be. One thing I have just noticed on this one is that it seems to have 2 slots for CD drive or front panel. Yet on this case, there is no door. There is no door in front of this case. This does not come off. It doesn't push open, doesn't open. If you want to take it off, you literally have to pull it off. As you can see, it's designed for, so I don't know what was going on there, but anyway, you certainly aren't going to be sticking a CD drive in this thing, or anything for that matter. That's a shame, so if you want to use that, you'll have to mod it and cut that. Entirely up to you, but yeah, seems to be a bit of an issue. Not a big one. Still will make the case work however you like. Okay, so that is, oh wait, before we go, this case will do micro ATX, ATX and mini ATX, same as pretty much every other case out there, apart from little ones. So it comes with the mounts for the motherboard already, apart from the ATX, so you will have to have some extra ones. I'm assuming you're going to upgrade, and you're going to upgrade to this case. You probably already have mounts that you can put on there anyways. Also, there are 4 holes at the bottom where you can mount a pump and reservoir. There are 2 spaces here down the bottom. You probably can't see that, but I'll do close-ups for that anyways. Down the bottom here, I guess pretty much you can mount them wherever you like, but they provide the holes for you to mount them should you wish to stand them up along the bottom, which would look quite nice actually. With a little bit of lighting in there, it will be quite nice. So let's look around the other side. This is where you're going to hide all your cables, behind this lovely panel, which is also held on by thumb screws. So far I haven't needed any tools to do anything, to open it anyway. I have a feeling I will need at least a screwdriver. So on the back we have, another SSD mount for a 2.5 inch SSD. Quite nice. That seems to be pretty standard now actually on most cases. The hardware RGB controller for the fans, the standard ring fans, this will not work with the Plus or the premium version. I think there's two different high-end versions which are also software controllable. This hardware controller and the button that controls it on the top will only work with the standard ring fans, and I think you can get some lights as well, so that would be, but that's quite good though. That's all right. It comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. More than enough for this case, I would have said, but nevertheless, that's what it comes with. So you can link all your fans and your RGB together, push the button on the top, and then they'll all change all together at the same time, which is really nice. The bonus about this one is if you've got an older hard drive or a storage drive, obviously that's going to be the bigger one, the 3.5 inch ones. It comes with 2 spaces for those, which is quite nice on the back. Keeps them out of the way. You don't have them in the front, because who really wants to see a normal hard drive unless it's got RGB or some fancy design on it? No one really. These are also made of plastic as well, so hey, some of you guys might think that plastic is a bit cheap. Yeah, plastic is a bit cheap, but it also means that if you're going to carry this case around and you go to LAN parties and whatnot, it makes it lighter to carry around. It's great having metal everywhere, but if it's heavy, you don't really want to be carrying a metal case, a completely metal case around, unless you've got a trolley or something like that, and you're prepared. I am not prepared, so yeah, for me, actually, the lighter the better. I'd imagine that's extra screws and all those sort of things, and cable ties. So there's plenty of spaces here to tie off your cable runs and power things, power connectors. They're not things. So that's quite good. So you can't tuck them away, which is what I've done on previous cases. Some of the cables, especially for the RGB, I've always tucked it down on this side here, but that might not be possible in this case. It might be. There isn't a lot of room behind these. I don't think I've got one I'm going to use, so these could actually come out for me personally, but for you guys, if you've got 2 drives you need to put in there, there is a little bit of room if you want to run some cables down along here, and then along there, and then however else you want to route it. Entirely up to you, but that is an option in this case. Another couple of things to mention in this case is the maximum size for the CPU cooler you can have is 155 millimeters, and the maximum length of your GPU is 400 millimeters, which is actually plenty big enough. I mean, you can see how long some of the cards are, very big. So if you're planning on doing water cooling, take that into consideration when you pick your GPU. One thing I also forgot to mention on the front, I don't know if I mentioned this before, is that the front I/O, all of around these, they all light up along with the bars along the left-hand side. The same colour obviously, so depending on what you're going to pick for your colour, fading in and out, pulsing, cycling through all the colours, these will also do the same. You can't program these independently, unfortunately. That would be really cool if you could do that, but not on this case. Even so, actually that's going to look pretty damn amazing. One thing that does concern me a little bit though is there isn't a lot of room at the back for hiding big chunky power connectors. So if you're going to use modded cables, depending on your power supply, you're going to run your power cable in the back and then plug a modded cable in to colour code it with the rest of the case design. There's not a lot of room to hide that unless you can put it in one of these maybe. If you're not using one of these, you might be able to hide the cable inside one of these. I don't know, I'm not really sure. We'll have to have a play with that when we eventually build into this case. But so far, actually, for an £80 case, and I'll put links in the video description down below where you can purchase this case, it's not bad actually, it's really good. Okay, so now for some of the bad points as far as I'm concerned, at least anyways. You guys might think differently, but this is what I think of the case. The toughened glass panel, the way it mounts onto the case could have been a lot better actually. I don't like the way it slides onto these rubber grommets. Although the fitting and once it's on there, it's fine. If you're not clever and you unscrew them and you unscrew the top ones, it will drop and you could risk breaking it, which would be a very expensive replacement. So always hold the bottom and then lift it slightly, pull it and put it safe in a box somewhere to keep it safe. Also, I know it's a trend these days with a lot of cases, but I actually like hiding the power supply. I don't think there's any need to see what power supply you've got in there unless it's got RGB lighting on it. Most people don't yet have RGB power supplies because they're quite expensive for one. So hiding this, like some of the other ones like the View 37 and some of the other cases along that line, actually hide it, even maybe partly hiding it so that you've still got an area here where you can put your radiators and your pumps and reservoirs in would be fine actually. It may look alright once we build into it. They are really, so far, until I build in it, it's difficult to say, but on first glance, really, they're the only two things that I can think of that's wrong with this case. There really isn't that much wrong with it. It's actually a good case for £80. And I'm not just saying that, okay? Honest reviews, guys. It's got to be honest. And that's my honest opinion. So, yeah, there we go. The next time you see this, hopefully we'll have all bits in it, and we'll do a little build video of that as well. That might be a little while yet. This case is already out, so it's not brand new. But nevertheless, it's a good case. RGB, plenty of space for water cooling if you want to dabble with that. And a nice open panel on the side, RGB on the top, RGB on the buttons, nice clean lines. Very nice case for £80. Thumbs up from me. So thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you don't, that's fine. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you want some nice funky tops with our logo on it, we have a merch store, which is in the link in the video description down below. You can get nice tops like this one in multiple colours. This is the long arm sleeve top, and you can get children tops as well as hoodies and things like that. So go check that out. All the money that goes towards these, or some of it at least, comes back to us, and we can make great content for you guys. So yeah, check that out, and we'll see you in the next video.